This is Joni Smith, President of the American Literacy. Welcome. Good afternoon. This is our 31st annual celebration. American Literacy Corporation is excited to have this opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate and reward 4 outstanding educators from all over California. I would like to welcome our winners, their families, colleagues, administrators, school board members, and friends joining us this afternoon. Our program will include some information about our organization, its history and purpose, as well as our annual awards. But most importantly, we are here to recognize and get to know our 2022-2023 Outstanding Contributions to Literacy Award winners. I'd like to introduce our acting board members, Melanie Oliver, Mike Barney, Lynn Gurney, Tamara Manzapit, Julie Dooley, and myself, Joni Smith. Now, Mike Barney will let everyone know a little bit more about American Literacy Corporation, our history, and who we are.
Thank you, Joni. We are very fortunate. In 1992, the late Dr. Joe Stanchfield and her husband Stuart and some friends got together, and they really started talking about how can they recognize more teachers, certainly in California, on the great work they're doing within literacy. Her and her husband started this nonprofit organization that is really committed to improving the literacy skills of just not California, but throughout the country. Dr. Joe Stanchfield was internationally recognized for her research, her presenting, and all her hard work in literacy. She was really well known internationally and locally. Dr. Joe Stanchfield always had this quote, and so we like to read it every time we do one of these award ceremonies. So I would like to read it to you tonight. First of all, in the context of education, this implies that teachers have the torch of literacy, that they have the knowledge and the understanding of the meaning of literacy. Secondly, Plato implies that those who have the torch will also have the desire and the will to pass it on. Enthusiastic, caring teachers pass this torch to their students every day. And we are very fortunate to have some great awardees tonight that have been passing the torch of literacy to their students and hopefully beyond. Our mission for this organization is really to recognize and reward teachers who significantly increase the literacy level of their students. That is really our goal. That's what we work towards all the time. And now I'd like to pass it over to Melanie.
Thank you, Mike. Well, I believe that everyone in this session would agree. Educators are truly hard workers. As educators, we absolutely love to celebrate and recognize our students and colleagues. However, most of us are not comfortable with taking on the limelight ourselves or being recognized. Our founder, Dr. Joe, believed that this as well, and she wholeheartedly valued and appreciated effective educators everywhere. So the goal of the American Literacy Corporation is to not only recognize and reward exceptional teachers, we also strive to increase literacy level of all of students. To support this effort, our website has free read aloud strategies created by Dr. Joe and available to all. And this is where I have the pleasure of sharing our awardees' favorite books to read aloud to their students. So we're going to start with Lindsay Hill. Her favorite read aloud is By the Great Horn Spoon by Sid Fleshman. And Lindsay says the author takes you on an adventure through the gold rush by traveling on a ship, staking claims, and looking for a gold map. It's a clever story with lots of unique characters who walk and talk like miners and scoundrels. The main characters, Jack and Praiseworthy, make a great team working together through the ups and downs of the gold rush. The villain, Cut-Eye Higgins, keeps you on your toes by predicting what could happen next. And she loves to use voices when reading and even surprises students by dressing up like a ship captain and yelling at them to write under their desk like they were sailors on a ship. Her students absolutely love this book and the projects that go along with it. Now, Carla Peterson, her favorite read aloud is The Invisible Boy by Trudy Lugwood. Writes that her students enjoy this book because it voices empathy for a boy who feels invisible by a busy adult, a teacher, and peers, classmates, who do not include him in his activities. And finally, a new boy includes him and shows him kindness and inclusivity. Our next two awardees chose Molly Snider. She chose Wilford Gordon McDonald Patrick, written by Mim Fox. And she says this book is all about connections to self, text, and the world. She loves this book because it is one of those little titles that highlight human connections to self and others. It's a tender story of interage relationships where the characters learn about one another and discover and rediscover parts of themselves. The author has invited readers to look closely at the text and make inferences to determine central ideas and themes. Readers analyze how and why individual events and develop and interact throughout the text. She shared this title with all ages from 1st through 6th grade each year to build classroom community and understand perspective. She reads this book aloud, modeling, thinking, and then following up with interactive discussion with the students. Our final book is from Chantel, titled, Did You Take the B from My Ook? And this is her favorite book for her early literacy read-alouds, the same vein as the book with no pictures. And this book breaks forth walls to create a lively, engaging read-aloud that reinforces phonemic awareness skills, a book that kids sure to ask for after the first reading and often inspires students playfully writing from even the younger readers. It's a great book. But thank you, ladies, for sharing your favorite read-alouds. I got a chance to look at all of them, and I am a big fan of those as well. And I plan to read those to my grandchildren since I'm not in the classroom anymore. And next, I have the honor to introduce Tamara Mansfield, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the awards. Tamara, take it away.
Thank you, Melanie. I'd like to take another moment to congratulate our winners. One of the amazing things about being nominated for the Outstanding Contribution to Literacy Award is not only being recognized for your hard work, but also the amazing grants you receive. The first grant that we give would be a $2,000 cash award to the teacher. This can be used for anything the award winner chooses. The second is a $500 school grant to each winner's school for a reading or language arts activity or material of your choice. The final award is a $500 grant to the CRA chapter who nominates and writes a letter of recommendation for a winning educator. So one of my favorite grants is the $500 school grant. So as a board member, this is one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy. The first one is watching the amazing videos of all of you ladies doing your lessons. But the second one is reading the emails regarding your site grant award. And so your choice, you have $500 you can get a literacy night, you can get books for your library, you can have an author visit, you can get small book sets. And again, we just appreciate those emails coming in and letting us know what you guys choose to do. The sky's the limit. It's open to your imagination. And it's not often that we as educators get money in order to give back to the kids. So like Mike mentioned earlier, we believe that you guys are the keys to improve literacy, and we're excited to see what you ladies choose to do with your grants. And we hope you reach as many kids as you can. Principals and winners, please remember to check your electronic copies regarding the process. It's a simple 1 to 2 paragraph. And again, we are excited to see what you choose to do with that. I'm now going to pass you guys over to Lynn Gurney with the poem Smile.
Thank you, Tamara Mansfield. It's my pleasure to read this favorite poem from Dr. Joe Stanchfield, our founder. It starts like this: a smile costs nothing, but gives much. It enriches those who receive without making poor those who give. It takes but a moment, but the memory of it sometimes lasts forever. None is so rich or mighty that he can get along without it, and none is so poor but that he can be made rich by it. A smile creates happiness in the home, fosters goodwill in business, and is the countersign of friendship. It brings rest to the weary, cheer to the discouraged, sunshine to the sad, and it's nature's best antidote for trouble. Yet it cannot be bought, begged, borrowed, or stolen, for it is something that is of no value to anyone unless it is given away. Some people are too tired to give you a smile. Give them yours, as none needs a smile so much as he who has no more to give. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Julie Dooley, who will be setting the stage for our award presentations.
Thank you, Lynn. I do get the privilege to set the stage for what I believe is the most important part of our event. It's the reason we're here this evening, the opportunity to recognize and celebrate each one of our 22-23 awardees. Educators, you know we love protocols. So this is the protocol that we're going to follow for each one of our awardees. A board member is going to introduce our winner. That winner is going to be introduced by someone special that they have selected to present them. Following that presentation, we're going to come off mute and we're going to hoot and holler and we're going to clap and cheer for that awardee. Then the awardee is going to say a few words. Each awardee has pre-recorded a speech to share with the group. And that is how we will follow for each one of our awardees. And we are going to go ahead and go in the order that you see on the screen. So without further ado, I would like to turn this back to Melanie Oliver, who will be introducing our first awardee.
Thank you, Julie. Well, it is my honor to introduce our first awardee, Lindsay Hill. Lindsay comes to us from Sundance Elementary and Beaumont Unified School District. And Lindsay is going to be introduced by her principal, Anne-Marie Farias. However, Anne could not be here tonight. So Lindsay, Anne sent us a special message just for you. So let's listen together.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie Farias. I'm the principal at Sundance Elementary in the Beaumont Unified School District. And I'm here today to introduce you to Mrs. Lindsay Hill. She is an amazing fourth grade teacher at our school. She's been here at Sundance for about 5 years and has had such a positive impact on literacy and on our whole school community. She's just an amazing person. A little bit about her. Last year, she was recognized as a Riverside County Teacher of the Year. She was one of 4, very deserving, very humble, just such a great honor to recognize her in that role. Lindsay is a former reading teacher and did so much work in our district to help coordinate our reading intervention program. And even as a fourth grade teacher, she's helped our upper grade teachers to really utilize some of those protocols to help our upper grade kids who sometimes get lost in that learning to read phase of their education. She is also an author and an illustrator. She recently published her 3rd children's book. Her books are absolutely beautiful. They're amazing, and just so proud that she was recognized for all the hard work that she's put into this career. I know that Lindsay has wanted to be a teacher since she was a very young girl, and to see her actually living out that dream, it's just so obvious every time you walk into her classroom. She definitely has a passion for what she does and enjoys every second that she has with our students. What a pleasure it is for us to have her at our school site. I know that Lindsay also struggled with dyslexia as a child, so she has just so much compassion for students that are struggling and really knows how to reach them in a way that some teachers aren't able to do. So she definitely has a gift for reaching all learners and helping them to reach their highest potential. She recently earned her master's degree just this May, so that's definitely an accomplishment. We're proud of her for that, and I'm just so truly proud of her, and happy to introduce Mrs. Lindsay Hill. Congratulations.
Have a few words from Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Hill, and I am honored to receive the ALC Outstanding Contributions to Literacy Award of 2023. Thank you to the American Literacy Corporation Board for the recognition and dedication to improving the literacy skills for our students. I want to express my great gratitude to the ALC for the $500 school grant to promote literacy by funding a favorite assembly where students write stories and actors bring them to life. Thank you to Joni Smith for your support throughout the process, and to Mike Barney for encouraging me to apply. Thank you to Sundance Elementary and the Beaumont Unified School District for the opportunity to fulfill my dream for teaching. Thank you to my family, friends, and fellow educators for always believing in me. And a special thank you to my husband, Jolan, and my 3 daughters, Madison, Juliana, and Brooke, for loving and inspiring me every day. Reading is a subject I hold close to my heart, as I am dyslexic and understand a struggling student. By instilling the values of hard work, persistence, and teamwork, they too can accomplish their dreams. When I reflect on the beginning of my journey, I see my young self with the overwhelming feeling of frustration, not understanding why every time I tried to read, it felt like the letters were jumbled and twisted. I assumed it would be a roadblock in my journey that would prevent me from reaching my final destination, but I was wrong. It is the reason why I am speaking in front of you today, and it is the motivation for me to continue reaching for bigger dreams. My heart has opened for students in our education system struggling with reading, and my goal is to ensure that all students are provided with the same tools that helped me to get to where I am today. I have been teaching for over 15 years, and that my students are absorbed in a literature experience. They relate to the curriculum and develop a curiosity about the world around them. My class shares a special bond that even our novel study characters become part of our family as we dive deep in discussions to develop a greater connection to the text. My favorite book to read with my students is by the Great Horn Spoon, taking the readers on an adventure through the gold rush. I love walking and talking like the miners and scoundrel characters in the story. Surprising the students, I dress, talk, and act like a ship captain. I tell them to hit the deck and write like a sailor from under their desks. The oohs and ahs fill my teacher's heart, and the joy and love for reading and learning is contagious. My hope for future teachers is to find your passion and embrace your creativity. Find the things outside the classroom that can inspire others and spark interest within their own lives. I have been inspired by flipping my dyslexia script and changing the path. My hard work and determination earned myself a master's degree in education, focusing on reading intervention, and my creativity has self-published 3 children's books. I'm looking forward to a lifetime promoting literacy in the arts as my creative passion. Being able to make a difference in the children's lives and giving back to the community gives me purpose. I'm truly honored, and thank you again, ALC, for this special recognition.
Congratulations to Lindsay Hill. Thank you to all that are here to celebrate Lindsay's amazing achievements. Now I'm happy to turn it over to Lynn Gurney to introduce our next awardee.
Thank you, Joni Smith. Yes, we are excited about Carla Peterson, who has taught at Steel Lane Elementary, Santa Rosa School District, and has recently moved to the Hinton Area Elementary School in Hinton, West Virginia. Her award will be presented by Paula Aja, the current president of Gateway Reading Council, Ann Seal, the past president from the Gateway Reading Council, and a 2016 awardee.
It's my honor to introduce Carla Peterson, the recipient of an American Literacy Award. I first met Carla over 20 years ago. We were attending an overnight teacher training at General Vallejo's Rancho, getting ready to take our students on this field trip. My first impression of Carla was someone who wanted to learn more than just the, quote, nuts and bolts of teaching. She wanted to learn the arts and crafts and the heart of our profession. The second impression of Carla was her desire to continue learning. CRA became her professional development home. Our paths continued to cross. We both became involved with Gateway Reading Council and the leadership of CRA. Through CRA, Carla honed the craft of teaching reading, writing, and exposing her students to an exciting and meaningful literacy education, making it accessible to all students. Carla has given her time and talents to Gateway Reading Council and CRA, and she does it with a smile on her face. I will miss you, my friend, as you move to West Virginia, but I know you will involve yourself in all things literacy there. Your friends and colleagues wish you the best in your new endeavors. Congratulations, Carla.
Ann Seals to unmute herself. And Ann was one of our winners back in 2016. It's so great to see you again.
Carla, I got to tell you, she is 110% a team player. She was behind the scenes at our Gateway Reading Council and CRA, doing so much for our council to keep it afloat. And she served as president, treasurer, membership committee chair. She was instrumental in planning and organizing our Gateway Young Writers annual event, along with our beloved Marie Hinton, who passed away a few years ago. And it encouraged children to submit their writing, and it was put in an anthology, and they were saluted for their writing once a year at an elementary school, which encouraged, writing. It was fabulous. And she also led the CRA committee on books review, which was, along with Marie Hinton, recommendations for new fiction and nonfiction books, which took a lot of her time. It was called the Eureka Committee on the California Reading Association. And what happened was the books that they recommended annually were given from California Reading Association to schools, and their librarians were encouraged to read these books. There was a primary and an upper school to their students, and the students were given a vote what they thought their favorite book was, or the most beneficial book was. And so the students were very much involved in that book review process. She was so instrumental in just keeping the Gateway group of ours together regarding the newsletter. She published state, local, and national news regarding CRA, IRA, etc. And I just can't say enough. She just had this incredible energy that was diffused through our whole group when we were sometimes feeling like we were kind of slogging along, and she would come in and say, we can do this, we can do this. And I just, I feel that West Virginia students are getting such a bonus having her as a teacher there. Congratulations, Miss Carla. We'll miss you in California, but boy, oh boy, those West Virginia kids are so lucky.
We'll hear from Carla.
Good afternoon. I'm Carla Peterson, a special education teacher at Hinton Area Elementary School in Summers County, West Virginia. It is indeed a very special honor to be named a 2023 ALC winner. Thank you, American Literacy Corporation Board, for this incredible recognition. I would like to thank people who have played an important part in my journey as an educator and have led me to ALC. Thank you, Gateway Reading Council, primarily Paula Aha, whom I served as Paula's co-president, and to Nancy Rogers-Zagara. Nancy and Paula mentored, encouraged, and allowed me to be their tag-along. It is because of them that I serve on the California Reading Association board today. A special thank you goes to Nancy, who recommended me on behalf of Gateway. It is with heartfelt thanks that I mention Ann Seal, Janalicio Morris, Maureen Mento, Bev Singer, and the late Marie Hinton. We've had many good times. I want to thank the many colleagues I have had the pleasure to work with. Martha Johnson, and from Santa Rosa, Diane Chera and Jen Esposito, a reading teacher. And to my current SPED and Gen Ed colleagues at Hinton. Several principals need my thanks as well. Chuck Lanier, Amy Taganashi, Kathleen Malamu, and my current principal, Angel Gum, and my assistant principal, Kit Durnan. And a huge, huge thanks to my students, both past and present. They are the reason I look forward to attending school each morning. I also need to recognize past CRA president and Contra Costa Reading Association president, Lynn Gurney. She is amazing. Thank you, Lynn. My family is a reading family. My mom was my first reading teacher. Visits to the library at Sebastopol, Grayton, and Forceville really fed my need for stories. Also, as a child, I remember always buying from the Scholastic book clubs. When I was in 5th grade, I would always buy the Dynamite magazine. I am very grateful to ALC for the recognition they've bestowed on me. It makes me feel like I have made contributions to education. I have been teaching for many years. I first taught general education, upper elementary grades. Those students really loved reading and writing. A few years ago, I took the opportunity and went back to college. I obtained my special education credential. I taught RSP and special day classes in California. I am currently working at Hinton Elementary School in Hinton, West Virginia. I co-teach with talented, caring colleagues, and it is truly, truly rewarding when a student tells me, I want to go to your room and write stories. Again, thank you, ALC, for this amazing award. I am truly humbled.
All right. Congratulations, Carla. Very well deserved. And thank you to all that are here to celebrate her many achievements. Now, Mike Barney will be introducing our next winner.
Thank you, Joni. I am proud to introduce our next awardee, Molly Snider from Blazer Lane Elementary School in Wilton Unified School District in Wilton, California. The award will be presented by Nancy Rogers Zagara, educational consultant and the editor of the California Reader from the California Reading Association. Nancy, a few words, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Today, it's my honor and privilege to speak on behalf of the Lake Mendocino Reading Chapter about Molly Snider, a truly outstanding educator. I have known Molly for over 15 years and have worked with her closely as the director of the Teaching American History grant for Sonoma, Lake, and Mendocino counties, where she served as a teacher leader for this federal grant. Also, I know her as a BITSA trainer and a conference presenter, and also the president of the Lake Mendocino Reading Council. Molly, first and foremost, is an excellent teacher. She possesses thorough knowledge and understanding of the California framework, innovative instructional practices, and what it takes to support children and make them successful. She is very thoughtful, inquisitive, and willing to explore new ideas to meet the needs of all her students, including GATE, struggling learners, and especially her multilingual students. Molly has a passion for teaching and learning, and you can see it as you walk in her classroom. I had the opportunity to visit her classroom of fifth graders on multiple opportunities. Her classroom was filled with all types of literature and nonfiction books, so students could explore new topics and fall in love with reading and writing. She knew how to bring out the best in each student and nurture their curiosity. Her love of literature was evident by the many books, poems, and songs she shared daily with her students, demonstrating her personal joy of literacy. Molly also had some amazing history social science artifacts, and she made history social science come alive for her students as well as English language arts. Molly's work spans 34 years, where she served as an excellent teacher, as a literacy coach for Willits Unified, and the Mendocino County Office of Education as a literacy consultant, the coordinator of the CLIC project for the history social science work in that county, and as a master teacher for Dominican University. She's a sought-after thought partner and has served on many curriculum committees throughout Willits Unified, Mendocino County, and across the state level, and was named an outstanding teacher by the California Council of Social Studies. Molly developed numerous model lessons and curriculum guides, which she shared with teams of teachers locally and throughout California. Molly has taken on leadership roles by presenting numerous workshops at the district, county, and state level. She even presented with Carla and myself for an international national conference for the National Council of Social Studies. She developed a community of practice network for Mendocino County and served as an LPAC trainer and gave history input for the California History Social Science Framework and did many, many presentations up and down the state. She developed a website with various literacy toolkits for writing, assessment, reading comprehension, and multilingual learners. And she continues to compile the monthly level of literacy book list, which CRA sends out in their spotlight to help teachers love reading and find out about new titles. Molly has been a true literacy advocate, coach, and mentor for the past 34 years and is an exceptionally skilled teacher and leader. Congratulations, Molly, for your outstanding work and service. You have truly made a difference in the literacy lives of so many students, teachers, community members, and Reading Council participants throughout the state of California and beyond. Thank you, Molly, for all that you have done, and thank you for being my friend.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Let's hear a few words from Molly.
I am so excited and honored to receive the American Literacy Corporation Award. I thank you for all that you do to carry the torch for literacy, to recognize educators' contributions, and to sustain the work of Dr. Joe Stanchfield. The grants that we receive will support our local California Reading Association and an elementary school with read alouds. The personal award is beyond words, and I'm looking forward to using it towards my own writing projects. This award also validates that we each have our own literacy story, and that the classroom is a content-rich space that nurtures perspective. As a young person, we had art and music and literature in our home, and many of my teachers exposed me to beautiful, memorable texts. The Poets in the Schools program while I was in high school ignited my imagination and my writer's voice. Our librarian created a space of wonder that helped us explore the world through books. Each provided mirrors, windows, and doors that built our literacy stories and helped me shape my own and prepare me for helping my students find theirs. 42 years of working with students has taught me so much about creativity, curiosity, and most of all, connection. I thank the young writers of Blosser Lane Elementary School, especially the students in Miss Spivey's 5th grade class who participated in the ALC video lesson. I thank so many of my colleagues locally and throughout the state. Willits Unified School District, Principal Nancy Runberg, the California Council for the Social Studies, and my dear friend Nancy Rogers-Zagara. To my family and friends, I give you loving hugs. My sister often reminds me, it's not how many books you go through, but how many books go through you. Books hold the power of change, they provide a space of reflection, and they connect us to ourselves and each other. Books voice the human story, and I know that a singular book can be the mirrors, windows, and doors for my students as they discover who they are. The American Literacy Corporation affirms that each student, each child, each teacher, each book, and each moment of learning matters. My journey has been extraordinary, fulfilling, professional, and personal. And I give you all great appreciation for the mighty work that you do. Thank you for your consideration and your faith in me as an advocate for literacy, because I know I will continue the work. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Molly. You are a very deserving winner, and we're so glad that we could celebrate your outstanding career achievements. Now I'd like to introduce Julie, who will be introducing our final awardee.
I get the honor of introducing, like Joni said, our final awardee this evening, Chantel Touryan Schaefer. She is a reading specialist at Ocean Grove, Sky Mountain, and South Sutter, 3 schools within the Innovative Education Management Charters. Her award this evening is presented by Dr. Brandy Anderson, who is the Director of Curriculum and Guidance. And I turn it over to Brandy.
Thank you. I am very honored to introduce Chantel. We are a network of charter schools, non-traditional, non-classroom based. We have about 8,000 students across California. And when we were engaging in the LCAP process, talking to stakeholders, talking to parents and teachers and administrators, we recognized the need for a reading specialist. And we started the interview process. And I really remember a lot from this interview, because what struck out to me about when I interviewed Chantel is her immense enthusiasm, love for kids. She had outstanding content knowledge in reading and showed exceptional reading skills. I later learned that Chantel not only takes these teacher skills that she has with students, but she also transfers those skills to educating other teachers. And I describe her as the teacher's teacher. And she has started a reading master's class for PD for our teachers. And 150 of our teachers have elected to go through her master class in early literacy and structured literacy. And everyone has said that that's probably the best professional development that they've ever received at our organization. Since hiring her 3 years ago, she has really rebuilt our reading program on structured literacy, and we've adopted some comprehensive reading curriculum for our students. At our schools, the parent is the primary educator, and the teachers are the ones who provide supports to the parents in making sure that they have the curriculum. So when she was learning about our schools, because Chantel came from a classroom reading specialist position, she really understood, or quickly learned to understand the importance of the parent in our program. And she dug into the program of dyslexia for our schools, how we could better support children through a new dyslexia pathway that she created. And she has coached 6 teachers, and now we have a cohort of students that are engaging weekly basis with those teachers on that dyslexia pathway. We, since hiring her 3 years ago, she has taken a new position within our schools this year as an early literacy coordinator. We have a 4-year program that we put together, and we have put her in charge of leading our early literacy coordinator program. And this, there's different parts of this program. One of it is to support the parents and the students and the teachers. But another part of it is to really understand how we can better, as a school, as a non-classroom based school, to support our parents in understanding how to best teach literacy to their children. And we learned a lot of lessons from COVID. All of our educators did. And one of the things that I think that we can all say that we learned is that learning can take place in many different places by many different people. I think that what Chantel has brought to literacy and teaching and educating the students and the teachers and the parents in our school, I think back to that quote that you shared on the first slide about passing the torch of literacy. And I am confident that Chantel is passing the torch of structured literacy to our families. And I'm very proud of her of taking a lead and really taking the forefront of understanding what that looks like outside of a classroom. And the work that she's going to be doing with Vanderbilt University, she hopes to publish this research so that it not just helps our school, but statewide and nationwide. And I'm honored and so incredibly proud of you, Chantel, for your accomplishments in just these few short years you've worked with us.
Thank you, Brandon. So let's hear from Chantel herself.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me say first to the ALC for this great honor in being recognized. The work that you are doing to promote and support literacy is so commendable, and I am glad to be a part of it, even if it is a small part. And let me also say how thrilled I am to be counted amongst such amazing educators as those who are being honored here today. I'm truly honored to be here, and while it was a bit of a surprise that I was selected for this award, our schools are truly deserving of this recognition. We have been working so hard to stay at the forefront of changes and developments in literacy, and I'm confident we will continue to be progressive in our program development to benefit the needs of all learners. I work with a truly amazing group of people at our 3 schools, and I am so proud of the achievements that we've had so far and the work that is still to come. I definitely wouldn't be here without the support of my administrators, Brandy and Jody and Karen. I am so thankful for the affordance they've given me, the space they've given me to be creative and to be a problem solver at our 3 schools. I also want to say thank you to all my colleagues who are a wonderful team and my biggest thought partners, sounding boards, and folks who are most likely to talk me off the ceiling when my imposter syndrome creeps in. So thank you so much to Sarah and Connie, Allie, and Angie. It's such a treat to be selected for this award. I am so grateful, and I hope to continue to be deserving of such a thing. Thank you again.
All right. Congratulations to Chantel, a truly deserving winner. So that does finish our individual presentations. In closing, we'd like to say, please take some time to check out our website. The link is on the screen for the free read aloud resources and the application for this coming year. The resources are also really applicable to parents and others in our community. They're based on the research of Dr. Joe. We'd love you if everyone would follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Now looking forward, this is also the time we ask our award winners, past winners, there's several of you here today, administrators and everyone attending to seek out, encourage, and mentor others to apply for the award. Sometimes all it takes is a person reaching out and encouraging another deserving educator. This has been a truly inspiring event and a very deserving group of winners. I would like to ask you to raise a glass to our winners, our founders, Dr. Joe and her husband, Stuart. But before we toast, I'd also like to thank my amazing board, just say thank you for their amazing dedication throughout this year. Our board members worked very hard, knowing there's never been a more important time to acknowledge educators and celebrate and reward them. So raise your glass and cheers and salute to our winners. A quote from Dr. Joe: "You, the teacher, hold the key, the golden key that can open the magic door to the wonderful world of books. The great adventure in school and perhaps in life is learning to read. You, the teacher, have the privilege of making this adventure a successful and exciting one. Pause for a moment to consider how important you are. So go forth and hold high the torch of literacy. And remember to smile